Hi everyone, Liz here, thanks for stopping by. So I'm going to do a bit of a kitting down today, just on your normal resin and acrylic drills. Just to try and catch up and get some spare cases, because I do need to start kitting up a few new ones as well. So yeah, I have finished off my little gnome, my little gonk gnome. If you remember, I'd missed off some little gems on his glove there, and I have finished those off. They do still need sealing though, so I've got a big box of stuff that needs sealer putting on it, and then we can have a go at making some Christmas cards. Oh my goodness. I've got the craftbuddy crystal art stickers to kit down. There's 40 different colours on that one, and then this is from the 30 by 30 challenge that we did in, was it June? Which is 35 colours, and this was my Scotty dog one that I did. So I'm going to try and kit two down at once. I could get into an awful mess here, but never mind. The round bottles will go in my little round putter awayer, as it were. And I've got my tray as well, so all we need now is the boxes to put them in. So we will start off in box number 1 and see how we get on. Possibly need some extra bags because I think these are going to be a little bit full, so I will just grab some spare bags just in case to go in my spares, and let's see how far we get, and we'll have a little bit of a chat as we go through, catch up on life and everything else, and I'll let you know what's been happening. It's been all fun in the Harrison household as usual. Right, so this is my spare drill storage based on Rebecca, Admore Zest storage system. Do go and check out Admore Zest website and YouTube channel. Rebecca's brilliant. I've been watching her a long time now. And yeah, basically for every DMC number in your drills, gems, whatever that you've got, I have a little packet, and it has the DMC number on, and these have got round stickers because these are round gems. And I've got 2 boxes of these, and I also have boxes with square drills in, and they have square stickers on them. And then each one has a piece of card in the front with the number on as well, making it easier to find and making them easier to stand up. So, and they're all in DMC number order, so yeah, just a little bit easier to kit down, and it doesn't take up as much space. 2 of these boxes don't take up as much space as if you had 447 of these little round pots or your square pots or whatever. And I find because it's sort of expandable, I do think you get a lot more in these the bags than you do in the little containers. So depends what you like. I know some people have got the big slot ones where you've got your trays in them and they have all the colours in those. It depends what room you've got, and like me, if you're clumsy, then I like to have everything contained because I'm no good at things out. I'll probably just walk past it and walk into it and knock it over or whatever. So yeah, I'm not brilliant on things like that. Right, so let's get cracking. We're starting off with, where are we? Number 208 there, and this one starts at 150, so we'll start on the 150s. As I say, I can't use this one. I do believe that you can get the, I suppose it would go in. It's not overly safe because it's not quite wide enough. I don't know, that it does sort of fit in. But yeah, you can get the ones that take the square containers, and I think you can get the ones that take the tic-tac containers as well. That's not easy to say. So we want number 150 to start off with. The great thing about having this system is that you've already got the bag ready and waiting for you when you go to put your gems away, so you're not having to write out a bag or look for a bag. It's already there, so all you're doing is just matching up the spares from your kitting down into your spares that you already have, so it just makes it a little bit easier. Right, so let's pop those on there, or in there as it were. Tell you, it's ages since I've done one of these. Oh dear. Right, 152 is the next one, so we'll keep going until we reach these numbers, and then we'll start doing these numbers. I always find with these square ones it's easier to take the lids off, again because I am quite clumsy, so yeah. And I don't separate out different colour variations, unless it was like a blue that was going in with a peach, then I would investigate a bit further. But if it's more or less the same tone, the same colour, then I put them all in together. I don't mess about having a separate bag for each colour and for each shade, because you do get different dye lots and they do come slightly different sometimes. I just think if I do need that that colour, then I can always dig out the ones that are the nearest to the ones that I'm actually needing and do it that way. And I also don't separate out acrylic or resin gems either. I just put them all in the same packet. So it just makes life a little bit simpler. Otherwise you're just going to end up with thousands of bags, and yeah, that can just get overwhelming and too messy, and I can't do with overwhelming and messy. Right, so are we still going on these? Just take these little stickers off. Shouldn't really be sticking them on my new desk, should I? Right, and then 159. So we've got a lot of numbers before 208 in these, but anyway, that's okay. Gets it kitted down. You see, that is quite another different colour to those again. But as I say, if I do need this colour 159 and I'm running out, or I've dropped them on the floor and I don't want to have to pick them all up, then yeah, I can just dig out the colour that's nearest to the one that I'm working with, and you usually find that you have more or less enough. Okay, so let's get these put away as well. So how is everybody doing? I hope life is treating you kindly. I know some people have said that they have had COVID as well, so hopefully you're recovering. Mine has been absolutely awful. Yeah, well, what can I say? I was 5 days in bed with the headache. It just didn't seem to go. It's a good job that hubby was in hospital, because I just wouldn't have been able to get out of bed to look after him. Yeah, it was just horrendous. Never felt anything so like it for so long. I do suffer with migraines, but it wasn't a migraine headache. It was just a horrible, really painful headache. And I was sat with cold flannels. Every time I got up to go to the bathroom or whatever, then yeah, I used to get a cold flannel and just stick that on top of my head. I think Millie Moo thought I'd gone mad. Yeah, you see, that's quite a sagey green rather than a sort of a grey green there. So they're a little bit different. But yeah, she kept coming and looking at me and sniffing my head as if to say, why have you got a flannel on your head, or a face cloth on your head? Sorry, I know a lot of people don't call them flannels anymore, do they? The face cloths. So yeah, she did start licking it at one bit. I was like, no, get off, get off. Yeah, she was a good nurse to me. She did look after me, so that was good. And yeah, I just, honestly, and then I've just been so tired since. I've just had no energy. If I did do anything, it just absolutely wore me out. So it was just horrendous, really, really. I wouldn't recommend it, let's put it that way. And it's one of those things, is COVID, that it seems to get everybody in different ways. I've not heard anybody say that theirs has been the same as anybody else's. You know, when you talk to people and say, oh, I've had COVID, and they describe what happened to them, it just never seems to be quite the same as what somebody else had. I know my brother ended up with toothache with it, and he went to the dentist, and the dentist said, no, it's not, there's nothing wrong with the tooth. It is just literally the nerves through the COVID that is pressing on your tooth nerves and giving you the pain. So that's the first time I'd heard that, but that's awful. Tooth pain is horrendous. So have I just put 208 and 209? I have. Oh well, never mind, I'll put these in as well, although they are similar colours. So hey ho, that's a good start, isn't it? I'm not very far into this and I'm making mistakes already, but never mind. It's not quite as bad as putting rounds in with squares, is it? Which is why I now have 2 separate boxes. I used to have them all in the same one, so behind each card I'd have square drills and round drills, but I kept putting them in the wrong ones, so now I just have separate boxes for them. So yeah, it's safer. So yeah, anybody that's had COVID, got COVID, I hope it is treating you kindly, and I hope you are recovering well. I have, as you probably gathered, started catching up. Well, I am practically caught up now with all my unboxings that I had. The companies have been lovely and really... Oh, this is a 310. I don't know whether I'll have any room in the 310. Been really lovely and supportive. You know, I've emailed them and said, look, you know, I'm just not well enough to do videos at the moment. Oh, they will go in there. So, you know, is it okay? Can you bear with me? And they've all been fine about it, all wished me well. So that's really nice of them, because, you know, they're a business and they're sending you a product to show on the chat on your channel. And they don't really want you waiting sort of, it's been 2-3 weeks in some cases, you know, for me to show the product. So yeah, I'm obviously grateful to them as well. And the ones that I have actually shown and let the companies know, they have said, all right, we'll send you some more bits and pieces. So that's been good as well. You know, they are still wanting to work with me, which helps enormously. I'm not using this, am I? Never mind. I can't do 2 things at once. Right, let's pop these in here. Any that have got the purple line across the number, that means that I've got spares. So I've got a full bag of them here, but I've also got a bag in another box with spares in, which will be for donation, or if somebody says I've run out of this colour, have you got any spares in it? Then I can say, oh yes, I've got the spares in that one, and let them have them. Because it's all about caring and sharing, isn't it? Yay. So anyway, the last thing really that I posted about Hubby was that he'd come home. And that was, I think, the Saturday afternoon he came home from the hospital. I had a real messing about with the hospital, unfortunately. They needed him out. You know, they need the beds. They can't have somebody just sort of recuperating. But he'd not really had any physio. I'd not been able to go to the hospital for 2 weeks because of my COVID, and then the ward actually got COVID on the ward as well. Hubby got COVID. He sailed through it, but he did have a blood infection, so he was on an awful lot of antibiotics, which may or may not have helped. I don't really know. So I'm not a doctor, I don't know these things, but you know, he didn't even get the headache or the cough. He was just okay. It was just testing positive as COVID. So hopefully that's built up his immunity a little bit, and he won't get it again. And fingers crossed for me as well. I certainly don't want it again. So I eventually got one of my friends, because I didn't want to go onto the ward, but I got one of my friends to just come with me up to the hospital. I wore a mask while she was in the car, and we had all the windows open, so you know, if I was still infectious, this was like after 2 weeks, then you know, she wouldn't catch it, and fingers crossed she hasn't. And I took the wheelchair up to the hospital because he had not been out of bed for 2 weeks, which when you are wheelchair bound, that's not a good thing to be. You need to be out and using your muscles. Just laying in bed for anybody will make you a little bit weaker. So I drove her to the hospital, and yeah, she took the wheelchair up for me. I hope I haven't told you all this before, but anyway, I can't honestly remember what I've said and what I haven't. So yeah, he went into the rehab on the Friday, and then on the Monday when he went for his dialysis, they discovered that he had a blood infection, so he had to stay in hospital. Then on the Tuesday I started feeling really poorly. I had Millie at the groomers, so I couldn't go to visit him that day. And then the next day the headache started, and I did the COVID test, and that's when I tested positive for COVID. So all of his wheelchair and all of his clothes and everything that I'd taken to the rehab place was still there. And as I say, it was like a fortnight before I could go there to collect them. So yeah, it wasn't a brilliant situation to be in, but anyway, we eventually got his wheelchair there. Then I got lots of calls from the hospital saying, can you do this, can you do that? And I'm like, no. And they're like, have you got anybody else that can do it? And I'm like, no. There's me or me. So you know, it was just awful. Poor Hubby went nearly 3 weeks without having any visitors at all, which, you know, is not good for anybody either. It's I just always feel sorry for people that don't have any visitors when they're in hospital, because, you know, when you're laid there and everybody else is getting visitors and you're not, it's just not nice, is it? So, yep. So, he didn't get any visitors, sadly. Oops, I think the telephone has just fallen off. I've got the windows and the curtains open today because I like to have fresh air blowing through the house. I'm a fresh air freak. Right, just bear with me a second. Right, I'm back. Yeah, and decided to have a fight with the phone and just blew open and knocked the phone over. So yeah, anyway, I've sorted that out. So yeah, poor hubby. He's very different to me. He likes a lot of attention when he's poorly. Whereas me, if I'm poorly, I just like to go to bed and be left alone. I've become a really grumpy bear if people start coming in and saying, are you all right? And can I do this and can I do that? I'm like, no. I didn't have anybody coming in to sort of look after me or help me, but that's okay with me. I completely went off cups of tea as well. I usually drink gallons and gallons of tea, but I just couldn't stomach the taste of tea. I've never really had a sense of smell, so I didn't particularly notice that my smell had gone. But my taste didn't really go. I could still taste things, but certainly cups of tea were well out because I just couldn't stomach them. I've only just really, sort of, we're 7 weeks on now, so I've only just really started drinking cups of tea again. And even then I'm putting quite a bit of milk in, which is something I've never done. I've always liked really strong, like builder's tea. You know, it melts the spoon when you put it in. So anyway, so hubby was in hospital. We had a bit of fun with his medication. They decided that, well, I got the doctor ringing me up on the Wednesday after he'd been in, I think, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, possibly nearly 3 weeks, and saying, oh, he's ready to come home. And I said, no, he's not. Bearing in mind I was still feeling the after effects of the COVID but then as well. I said, he's not coming home unless we get some help at home. You know, I'm not well enough to take him and manage him on my own at the moment. Because, to say, anything strenuous, you know, taking the washing downstairs and putting it in the washing machine, I then had to sit down for like 20 minutes to recover. You know, it just absolutely flattened me. So, sorry I'm moaning, aren't I? But I'm just letting you know what's been happening. So, anyway, so the doctor was like, oh, well, I'll see what I can put in place then. I said, can he get himself in and out of bed on his own? You know, is he able to move about on his own? Because if he can't move on his own, then I'm not going to be able to help him. So the doctor turned round to hubby, Paul, and said, can you get out of bed on your own? And of course he said, oh yeah, I can. So the doctor says, oh, well, he says he can. I thought, oh, great, thanks a lot. Anyway, so after a bit of messing about with his medication, they rang me up and said, do you have all his medication at home? And I said, I have all his medication at home that he had before he came into hospital. And partly my fault, partly their fault. Yeah, I ought to be a bit more specific, I suppose, when I tell people these things. They took that as when he went into hospital from the rehab centre, sort of 3 weeks earlier, that I had all the medication from then. Whereas I meant before he went into hospital originally, which was like the 10 weeks ago. So then they rang me up the next day and said, right, he's coming home tomorrow. Have you got this medication? And I said, no. And they said to me, well, you said you have all the medication. I said, no. I said, I have all the medication from before he came into hospital. And then it sort of dawned on me and I said, oh, hang on, where's 444 gone? Okay. I must have 444 out somewhere. I must have been using it. So I'll keep that one out for now because I need to put that one somewhere. So then there was like this total confusion and trying to explain. So I went through and told them what medications I had. And they said, oh, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we'll send him home with his medication. They rang me up the day he's due to be discharged and said, we haven't got all the medication here. can you come back and collect it tomorrow? And I said, no, because I can't leave him. And I've nobody else to come and sit with him while I come back to the hospital to collect it. And I've nobody that can come to the hospital to collect it for me. So they said, all right. Anyway, he was supposed to be coming home at 10 o'clock in the morning. He arrived at, was it in the afternoon? It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I think. The ambulance ladies brought him in. It was 2 ladies. And I was struggling to get him from his wheelchair into his armchair. And they said, well, I said, can you help me? And they said, well, really, we're not allowed to lift anybody. And I said, oh, well, then we're a bit stuck. Anyway, they did help me, which they're not supposed to do. I mean, I could understand it, sort of health and safety and all the rest of it. But it is a bit bonkers, you know. But anyway, it's just rules, I suppose. Rules seem to be, you know, health and safety. We have to have them, but sometimes it is a bit bonkers. Anyway, so it took 3 of us to lift him into his armchair. And I'm thinking, great, how am I going to then get him upstairs to bed? Anyway, the lady, we've got a carer coming in at sort of evening time. She helped me get him into his wheelchair. It seemed as though he'd recovered a little bit, like from his journey in the ambulance and from his movement. So he did transfer from his armchair into his wheelchair and then onto his stair lift, okay, and we got him to bed okay, and it wasn't too bad. I thought, well, I couldn't manage this on my own. It did take the 2 of us, but, you know, he was okay to be managed that way. So I thought, oh, well, maybe it won't be too bad, because they had to put carers in place for a couple of weeks. You get it sort of funded for a couple of weeks when somebody comes out of hospital. I thought, okay, fine, you know, we'll see how we go. Because I'd originally said to the doctor, if I can't manage him on my own and I start struggling, then I'm just going to have to, you know, ring back and say he's going to have to go into rehab or somewhere or do something, because, you know, I've got to be able to manage him. I'm either going to hurt my back or I'm going to hurt him by trying to move him when, you know, it is just not possible. Anyway, the next morning, the carer and the physiotherapist turned up at the same time, fortunately. And it took us 3 of us, again, to get him out of bed and to get him washed and onto the toilet and all that. And the physiotherapist and the carer both agreed he was not fit to be at home. He wasn't safe to be at home. They said they weren't happy to be managing him, again, because they were frightened that they were going to hurt him or he was going to fall. So the physiotherapist rang up the rehab centre. It was a different rehab centre than the one he'd originally been in, and arranged for him to go in there straight away. So he was actually only home for 1 night. So after I'd posted to say that he's home and I love him and he's wonderful, he went straight back in the next day. Anyway, this place is lovely. He's been there a couple of weeks now. We're just waiting for the care package to be put in place again for him to come home. So fingers crossed that'll be in the next couple of days. And yeah, he's desperate to come home now, which, you know, I can quite understand, because it's not nice being away from everybody, is it? And he's been in a long time. And in himself, he doesn't feel poorly, you see. This is the problem. He's not physically fit, as it were, but mentally he's feeling fine. So he's not enjoying being in there particularly. Anyway, so, you know, we've had lots of meetings. We've had somebody to come and assess the house, which they should have done before he came home in the first place. And the person that came around, like the assessor or the head carer or whatever, said he's not safe to go upstairs, he's not safe to use the stair lift, so he's going to have a bed downstairs. And you're like, oh, okay. I mean, fortunately we have like a through lounge and dining room, so I thought, right, I'm going to have to move everything out of the dining room, and he'll have to sleep in the dining room, which isn't ideal, but what else can you do? So I now have a hospital bed in my dining room. My dining table has had to go into the conservatory, so there isn't room to swing a cat in there. Oh dear. I would prefer really it not be in the dining room because, sorry, I would prefer it not to be in the conservatory because it is exceptionally hot in there. It gets over 100 degrees in there in the summer because it's south facing, and I've put blankets and everything over it, but you know, it still fades. So it's not ideal. I don't want to put it in the garage because obviously that's more or less outside, so it's likely to go damp or whatever in there, and we do tend to get mice and things in there as well, so I don't particularly want it in there, so we're a little bit stuck. But anyway, so I've had to ask one of the neighbours to give me a bit of a hand to move the furniture around because I just couldn't do it on my own. But I'm all ready for him to come home now, so it's just a case of waiting for the date and everything. We are going to have a carer coming in 4 times a day for now, so we'll see how that goes. He will still be going for his dialysis as well, so I will still get a couple of hours off on 3 afternoons a week, so that's good as well. Every little helps, as they say. 7, 3, 8. So we'll just have to see how it goes. They did start saying that, you know, if he doesn't improve, we might have to think about having a lift put in the house. And then I was like, oh, well, I don't really want structural things done to the house because, you know, it is always in the back of your mind that, you know, you're going to devalue your house if you do that. And, you know, if we do need to sell, I don't know who's going to really want to buy a house that's got a lift in the middle of it, you know, so I don't know. And then they were on about putting like hoists and things in as well, which again is like a structural thing because it's got to be fastened into the ceiling and everything. So yeah, it's not brilliant. I've been looking at bungalows. We don't really want to move because we do, you know, like where we live. We like our neighbours. You know, we're quite settled here, but obviously we've got to look at practicalities as well. I mean, I'd be heartbroken to leave this house really. We've been here quite a long time, and as I said, the neighbours, you know, have all been in more or less the same time that we've been here, so you know, I wouldn't really want to move, but yeah, we've got to look at practicalities that you know, if hubby can't move himself around and he does need extra help, then you know, we're going to have to move to a bungalow. But the trouble is that a lot of the bungalows, the older bungalows, have all got huge gardens, which we just don't want because we just can't cope with a huge garden. And a lot of them don't have baths. So they're just all showers. It looks like everybody's just decided to take their bath out and just have a shower. And I think, well, how am I going to bath the dog if there's no bath? I can't imagine her standing in a shower. She only has a bath when she decides she wants one. So yeah, it's all lots of things to think about. And at one point I did actually just get where I thought, I just don't want to think anymore. Please just do not say any more to me. I just don't want to think. I just want to go to bed and not think. And as I always say, thank goodness for diamond painting. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. My COVID is slowly going. So I managed a conversation without coughing the other day, which is a big bonus. And yeah, it is what it is. These things are sent to try us, as the saying goes. So yeah, and I've always got Millie. My mum is still in the care home. It looks as though she's staying in there permanently now. Her dementia is getting steadily worse, so she's just not safe, sadly, to be at home with my dad. He's quite upset. Well, he's very upset about it, but it's just one of those necessary things, I'm afraid. Similar to us possibly having to move, but she's okay. They do have like a doctor that's assigned to the home, so there's more or less a doctor there quite often. You know, there's quite a few residents. So oh, that's 781. I was going to say that's a completely different colour. So, you know, if there's anything the matter or there's any problems, there's more or less a doctor there straight away. Just pop that one away a second. Looks like my battery's running out on my phone. Have I been talking that much? Let me just plug in. Yeah, but on the whole, my mum and dad are okay. My mum has good days and bad days, but she's moved into a bigger room now, and she's at the front of the home, and the windows go down to the floor, so she can sit in her chair and see out and see the garden. And they do have different sort of like wildlife coming into the garden as well, so she can watch all that. So, you know, she's in a lovely place. It is an absolutely wonderful home. I think I don't know whether I've mentioned before, but I must admit, when we all went to visit her, we all said, oh, we'll all come and live here as well. And get looked after. But yeah, life changes. It's not a nice thing, but anyway, she's in the best place possible at the moment. So yeah, and we're looking after my dad as well. You know, he's getting little jobs done and everything. He has a gardener and a cleaner going in now, so you know, he's getting a bit of looking after as well, so that's good. And let's have a look, where are we? 783. So I'll need the other box in a moment, but we'll double check before I swap them over. Hope this waffle's not going on too long, and I'm trying not to make it too depressing, because I know yeah, there's all sorts being going on. But anyway, yeah, Millie Moo's been a really good girl. She's downstairs at the moment, looking out of the window. I opened the two little windows at the front window, and she goes and sits on the window ledge and looks out, and keeps track on everybody and what's happening. Next doors have been looking after their mum and dad's dog again. It comes on a regular basis when their mum and dad go away. So that's 796. They have the dog for however long, and take it for walks and things. Millie absolutely loves our next door neighbours. You know, they make a real big fuss of her, and they've even played ball in their garden with her. You know, she's completely spoilt. She just about owns the street. So when they've got a dog in their house, she's not happy with them at all. And the other day, the chap that lives next door, he came home from work, and like at the end of the cul-de-sac, there's like a shared drive, and where the shared drive is, she sat right in the middle so that he couldn't get his car onto his driveway. And he bibbed, and she just looked at him and looked away. As if to say, well, if you think I'm talking to you or letting you in when you've got another dog in your house, you've got another thing coming. So she just sat there and ignored him. So we had to move her out the way so he could get his car put away. And then she just came straight in the house and ignored him. I said, oh, you've upset her because you've got another dog in the house. But we all had a really good laugh. But she is just so funny. She's just so jealous of this dog. And yet if she meets it in the street, she's all over it, you know, giving it a sniff and wanting to play and loves it. But it's just the fact that he's taking it for a walk. Well, they're taking it for a walk, the man and lady. And yeah, Millie's not happy. They're my people. They're not your people. Oh dear, she does make me laugh. So yeah, and she's stalking cats as well at the moment. There's quite a few about. There's a new one appeared. So she's on the ball with that one, wanting to know where that one lives. So I'm not quite sure where it lives. It's not a kitten, it's quite an older cat. So I'm not quite sure where it's come from or whose it is. But yeah, she's keeping an eye on that one. The thing is, she chases them, but if they stop and turn round, she runs on past them. She would never do anything if she caught one. She wouldn't know what to do, but she just loves the chase. She loves the fact that the cats run and she can run after them. Oh dear, she is funny. So yeah, and she's due to go for a haircut again tomorrow. So anybody who lives in the Yorkshire area, East Yorkshire area, it will quite possibly rain, because it normally does rain when she goes for a haircut. Take her straight to the groomers, and then she comes straight out and goes in a puddle. Oh dear, all good fun. Right, 823. That one's 892. So, yeah, she likes being groomed, but she doesn't like her feet being touched. So you've got to be careful when you go near her feet. I'm not quite sure whether they're just really ticklish or she's very protective, but yeah, it's her feet. You can't go near her feet. Oh dear. We have been to the home to visit Hubby. She did go and say hello to him there. So that was nice, and everybody, oh, Scotty, you don't see many of those, do you? I think, well, I see one every day. And sometimes I see two, because the lady around the corner's got one as well, called Oscar. He's completely disinterested in Millie altogether, but she loves him. Again, she just wants to play. I mean, she's 7 now, is Millie. She's sort of classed as a senior dog now because she's over 7, but she still wants to play all the time. Right, so hopefully that is box number 1. Oh no, hang on. Oh, we've got out of order there, so let's have a look. So we've got a 798 there to put away as well. This is a little bit scruffy, isn't it, this box, but never mind. I'll tidy it up another day. Just want to get these put away. I've got a lot of kittings down to do. But anyway, gives us a chance to have a chat and a catch up and see what's going on. We've had a festival in Hedden, a music festival, which sadly we've missed. And there's been a few things going on. There's been a flower pot festival and a scarecrow festival. But they're all things that we will eventually catch up with at a later date. Possibly next year. Right, so that's 892 and 838. Okay, let's grab box number 2. Right, where are we starting? 838. So thank you to all the ladies that are still posting and joining the Facebook group, Scottish Dog Crafts. It's a little bit slow at the moment. I will leave it open because, you know, there's quite a few bits and pieces going on. Thank you to the lady that posted her stand with all the different gems and everything on it. That was really, really useful to see after my last unboxing, you know, for everybody to see what was going on with that. You know, it's really useful when we share things and show things around, so thank you for that. And it looks spectacular. As I say, I don't really have the room and I'm very, very clumsy. I can just imagine I would pull one out and they would all fall out. So, but it looks wonderful, you know, just to sit there and have every colour that you can just pull out and it's already in a tray and you don't have to worry about pouring them out and putting them back. It's just a wonderful idea. But anyway, not for me at the moment, but I say never. Oh, these are getting tougher and tougher to get off. I can't have used these before. Quite a lot of the ones that I've used before have still got a little bit of residual goo gone on them, so the labels slide off quite easily. Right, where are we now? Is that 907? That's 919. Right, so we want the 900s, 909, 907, a very bright lime green. So, what else has been happening? Do you know, it seems such a long time since I've done a long whip, I can't even say it, whip and chat. But, I don't know what I've said and what I haven't said. I must admit, when we emptied the sideboard, well, I emptied the sideboard to move it, it's amazing what I found that was in there. There's all sort of things that I thought, well, I didn't know we still had that. And where did that come from? When did we get that? So, yeah, it's not a bad thing emptying out places from time to time just to see what you've got. And, yeah, I can feel another charity shop delivery going again. Trying to get rid of some stuff. I seem to permanently be donating stuff to charity, and yet it still seems to be filling the house up. So I don't know where it all comes from. I think ordering Liz must have been ordering an awful lot, and yeah, it's all coming back to bite me now. Things that seemed like a good idea at the time, and then you forget you've bought it, you forget why you wanted it. and then it's just cluttering up the house, and we just don't have the room for clutter at the moment. Right, 919 is the next. I'm going to have to do another debulking of this kit, I think, of this storage box, I think, and the other one, because they are getting a little bit full again. And they're not all sitting down nicely. I want them all to be nicely flat so they look really organised, and they're just not at the moment. And I can't be doing with it. Yeah, it's one thing, when I start getting a bit stressed, I start tidying. Hubby says to me, can't you be a bit stressed a bit more often? I say, would you like a bruise? Only kidding, only kidding. I get my revenge when I get to give him his injection on a night. So I always do it so that I don't hurt him, because he does have a needle phobia. I don't want to upset him. So he's been through enough. He doesn't need any more upset. Anyway, talking of donations and things, I am thinking about doing some mystery boxes again. As I did speak earlier in the year, saying that I was going to put some of my kits on, possibly Vinted or somewhere, but to be honest, I think it will just be easier if I just do mystery kits again. Just mystery, well, the packets, they're not boxes, because I put them in the grey poly mailers that a lot of my diamond paintings come in. And just do it that way. So it would be a mixture of paintings and projects, and, as people call, off canvas things. A lot of it will have been things that I've sent for myself. Some of them will be ones come in PR packages as well, just really to try and debulk. It's one of those things that I'm sort of mindful now that if we do have to move, I do have an awful lot of things, and if we do, you know, we will be downsizing, so I might love my craft room, which I don't particularly want to do, but I don't suppose we'd be able to afford a 3-bedroom bungalow. I think we'll struggle to get a 2-bedroom, but anyway, so it's just, as I say, one of those things that I need to be mindful of. There seems to be one dark gem left in every single one of these pots at the minute. Just stop it. So if I start thinking about it now, rather than doing it in a panic later on, then at least it gives me a little bit of time. And just the thought of actually having to move house, you know, and having to pack everything away, oh goodness, it just leaves me cold, really. I don't want to have to do it all, but there would just be me and me to do it. So, and if you pay somebody to do it, it costs an absolute fortune, and I don't really want to do that either. Unless it's a buy one get one free, I'm not interested. So yeah, we'll see how it goes anyway. Right, not many left to do. I hope you're still with me and haven't fallen asleep yet. 946 is the next one. 946 there. Oh, a lovely burnt orange colour. Wonderful. So I'm looking at my Halloween things. I've been going through and getting all my Halloween things out ready. I don't think anybody's doing Smashing the Specials anymore. I've not seen anybody advertising it. It always used to start the 1st of September, which is like a big event that most of the diamond painting community used to sort of take part in. But it seems as though a lot of people are just doing in their own groups and their own YouTube channels, their own Halloween thing. So don't know. Let me know if you want to do a Halloween event. Again, it would be putting the pictures on the Facebook group or emailing me the pictures to put on the Facebook group, and I'd do a little giveaway or something. So let me know if you're interested in that. It would probably start, to be honest, I don't know, probably the 1st of October, just to give hubby a chance to settle in and come home. But yeah, we'll just see how we go and see what happens. I've got quite a few things to do for giveaways. If you've been watching the channel closely, you've probably realised that I've had a few duplicate things that I've ordered. So I'm blaming COVID. Everything's been blamed. COVID's been blamed for everything at the moment. So burnt the dinner. It's COVID's fault. Oh dear. Right, so 30, and there 38 says 3041. Gosh, this is going to be a long video, but anyway. Maybe I should have just done one kitting down rather than two. Being overly ambitious again, Liz, but never mind. I've got the window open today as well, so the neighbours will wonder why I'm talking to myself. Albeit sometimes when I'm editing my videos, I wonder if they can hear it and think, why is she listening to herself? Although a lot of them do know that I have a YouTube channel. So maybe they don't think I'm quite that nutty, really. 3350. So 3350. Oh, hubby's been crafting. I'll put a picture on screen. He made a pineapple out of a jam jar. Painted the jam jar and cut out the leaves and everything. Yeah, I've been wanting him to take part in the activities at the home. Oh, look. I got all the way to that and then I've spilt them all. Oh, no. And it's a lovely raspberry colour as well. That's with talking about hubby crafting. The drills are as shocked as I am. I did send a picture to our friends and family as well, and they were all, he's been crafting. He's not a crafter. He's just not really got the patience to craft, but I just think he's enjoyed the company, you know, sitting with the ladies and having a bit of a chat and a bit of a laugh. He did a quiz yesterday as well, so that was good. He enjoyed doing the quiz, and I just said, well, you just want to take part in them. You know, it's sad really that it's taken him all this time to start taking part in some of the activities and events that they're doing, and he'll be coming home soon. But anyway, we'll just wait and see. I know he rings me up every morning to let me know what he's had for breakfast, dinner and tea. And I keep saying, yeah, well, don't be expecting all of the same things when you come home. He's been having all sorts of lovely meals. So I said, I'll see what I can do, but it won't be the same. Because, I mean, obviously, if they do, like, a joint of meat or something, then it's a big joint of meat because there's a lot of people there. Whereas, you know, at home, there's only the two of us, and as you probably know, I hate waste. And I don't want to be throwing anything out, so yeah. And then he probably won't eat it anyway because he'll say it doesn't taste the same as it does at the home and it won't be as good. So anyway, so well, I can always send you back. Oh, there you are, look, I've got a packet there that I've got squares and rounds in, and I've put myself a little label to let myself know. Yeah, that's where I've poured squares into the round bag. Oh dear. Easily done. Well, it is for me anyway. Right, 4, 3. We are definitely coming to the end. So, yeah. Let's get these last few done, and then that's quite a big job out of the way. And decide what I'm going to do next. I think it's smashing the specials at the moment. I am doing my clocks at the moment. I'm hoping to do a video on clock making. Well, putting the clocks together anyway after I've diamond painted them. I've got quite a few of the Christmassy things that I did during the 30 items in 30 days. They all still need sealing. I'm just thinking I've put my dining room table now into the conservatory, and I don't think things will dry very well in the conservatory with it being so hot, so I'm not quite sure where I'm going to do my ceiling and get them dry. Oh dear. Ooh, that's something I hadn't thought of. Maybe I should have done that before I moved the table. Oh dear. It's always good to see things in hindsight, isn't it? Ooh, peppermint cream green. Oh, I could just eat something peppermint at the moment. I've got some lovely crumble mints that I've got from, well, we have Rington's Tea come round. It's a little van, it's a little company here in the UK. And they come round in a van, like an old-fashioned van, and bring the basket to the door. And I get my tea bags from them. And they do these things called crumble mints. And they're like a white mint. And when you put it in your mouth, it just sort of melts. They're quite strong, but they're really, really nice. And I have to put the bag away from myself because I could just literally sit and eat a whole bag. They're just so nice. Not good for one's waistline, Liz. And oh, I finished watching all 692 episodes of Prisoner. So I got to the end, so I am now watching Wentworth, which is the new updated version of Prisoner Cell Block H. Yeah, it's it's a strange one. It's a lot more brutal. I can see why it was put on late at night. I mean, Prisoner Cell Block H was quite brutal in its way, and you know, a little bit. Some of it's a little bit dated. The storylines were all right though, and it's certainly a good one to have on in the background while you're diamond painting. But this Wentworth Prison. It has all the same names as the people in Prisoner Cell Block H, but they're quite different characters and quite different looking. Right, so 3, is that 8? 1 8, I think it is. So 3 8 1 8. Yeah, that's what's kept me going. I'm not really into the Olympics. I've not really watched the Olympics. I used to when I was younger. You know, I used to like watching the racing, and I've always liked the field events more, and I used to love gymnastics. I did actually once go to Wembley with school, would you believe? So that's hundreds of years ago, to watch the Russian team. We were supposed to be seeing Olga Korbut, which she was a really famous gymnast, but unfortunately she pulled out at the last minute, so we never did get to see Olga Korbut. But we saw Nelly Kim and Nadia Comaneci, so we did get to see some of the favourite gymnasts. My granddaughter has now stopped doing her gymnastics, which is a bit sad, but she decided she just didn't like doing the competitions. So, you know, if she doesn't want to do it anymore. So it's sad, but she's won a lot of medals and done a lot of levels and things and had great fun doing it while she was doing it. So, yeah. But as they grow up, they do different things. She's in, I think she's moving up. Yeah, she's gone into brownies now, I think. Yeah, she's in brownies now. She's been in rainbows and now she's in... Or has she gone into guides? I can't remember. I know it's all different to when I was in brownies and guides. When I was in brownies, well, we didn't have rainbows, which is like the before brownies one. We just had... Oh, why is that 5200? Oh, these are crystals, right. Okay, I was just thinking, I thought I'd... Oh, and I've missed one, look. 906. Or is that 905? 906, let me put that one away. Oh, look, it stood up there looking at me. So I could just see a label there, thinking, why have I not done that one? Yeah, we used to do brownies, I think it was from... Was it from age 9 to 11 or 8 to 11? Can't quite remember. And then we did guides from age 10 to 16, and then they did guides. I know they changed guides when I was actually a guide leader for quite a long time. They changed it to 10 to 14, and then you went into rangers, or if you wanted to, or ranger scouts at 15 or 14, 15. I know now that girls can join scouts and boys, well, I suppose boys can join guides, but I think it tends to be more that the girls join the scouts these days. So that's, yeah, 3861. We took the girls camping once. We went to, it was like the scout camp was at one side and the guides camp was at the other. And oh dear me, the girls, the sort of the 13, 14-year-old guides at that time spotted this poor little scout and thought he was absolutely marvellous and thought he was really nice looking, and they all wanted to go out with him. And this poor lad, I mean, he was obviously still just into his football and wasn't into girls at all. And every time he walked past, they were all like swooning all over and going, hiya, and fluttering their eyelashes and totally embarrassing him. And oh, I've just done it again, look. Oh dear, Liz, what am I like? Oh, well, that's 2 spills for 2 cases. So if I don't do any more, that's quite good. Oh no, one's escaped. Right, get that in there. So yeah, poor little lad. And then I did actually speak to him one day and just said, you know, I'm really sorry about it, just ignore them. And he said, oh, that's all right. Well, that was it. I suddenly became a hero. I thought, well, if only it was that easy. All the girls were coming up to me like, oh, you spoke to him. What did he say? Oh dear, it was just so sad. Oh, to be 14 again. Yeah, and then the silly little things. Oh dear, girls. All arranged, or some of them arranged for some of the boys to creep up in the night and make ghost noises in the woods near the girls' tents. Well, that was really, really funny in daylight, the thought that these boys would be coming and making ghost noises. But of course, then as it started getting dark and they were going to have to go to bed, they absolutely terrified themselves. So we had to go and just, you know, say to the boys, please don't come and do that. Otherwise you'll be terrifying them. And yeah, it was all good fun. On the last night we did have a campfire all together, and this poor little boy, oh, as I say, I think he was about 13, still into his football. As I said, I don't think he'd even thought about girls really, or maybe he had, and but he certainly didn't want anything to do with our guides. And yeah, he just sat there absolutely mortified that they were all sat there looking at him. Okay, well, this video has gone on long enough and I think I'm going to lose my voice. A really good cough. So I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've stayed with me. Let me know if you're interested in any of the mystery boxes, and if you're interested in possibly doing something for October for Halloween. Even if it's just an autumnal one. If you don't do Halloween, you don't want to put ghosts or pumpkins or monsters or whatever on it, then just maybe an autumn picture or something like that. So let me know anyway, and we'll see what we can do. As you know, laid back, and I'm trying not to make plans much these days, because whenever I do plan something, something goes wrong and we don't get it done. So well, if you've enjoyed this chat, as always, a thumbs up is always very much appreciated. Any comments or questions in the comments down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you want to join our little family, see what we get up to next, then if you press that subscribe button down in this corner and the all notifications bell that pops up, you'll be notified when any of my videos come up, so you're not going to miss anything. Yay! Lots of exciting things coming. I have got lots of plans. Well, as I say, I've got plans, but not strict plans, because yeah, we'll see how it goes. The chaos that is Scotty Dog Crafts and the Harrison household. Okay, well, take care everybody, and thanks for stopping by, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Bye for now.